It was a fine sunny morning. Mr. Oldcastle and his dog Horace had just finished breakfast when Mr. Oldcastle had an idea. "It would be nice to have fish for supper tonight," he said to Horace. "Tell you what, we'll take Gumdrop down to the seaside and I'll do a little fishing." Horace was very pleased to hear this. He liked the seaside, and he liked fish very much indeed. After he'd done the washing up, Mr. Oldcastle took Gumdrop out of the garage ready for the trip to the seaside. Now, a fine vintage car like Gumdrop needs polishing before it goes on such a trip, so Mr. Oldcastle polished the body and the wings, the radiator and the lamps, and the thermometer, and, of course, the brass horn. Horace couldn't wait to get to the seaside, and the fish. Gumdrop sparkled in the sunshine as they prepared to go. The rod and line would go on the back seat with the fishing net tied firmly at the back. As Gumdrop drove out through the village, everyone waved at the smart old car chugging along. "Mind how you go," a man called out. A lady cried out, "Good luck," and a young lad shouted, "Going fishing? Mind you don't drown the old crock." Mr. Oldcastle didn't like that at all. Gumdrop was not an old crock. He was the smartest car that ever went to the seaside. The journey down to the sea was not too far, and soon Mr. Oldcastle had parked Gumdrop right down on the beach. Horace felt a little sleepy because he'd had such a big breakfast, so Mr. Oldcastle told him to lie on the floor of the car. He then put up the hood of the car so that the dog could sleep more comfortably in the shade. Horace was already snoring as Mr. Oldcastle walked up the beach to the pier with his fishing rod and reel and settled down for a good day's fishing. A fisherman had stopped to watch Mr. Oldcastle and to see what he caught, but there wasn't a fish in sight. Neither was there a bite nor a nibble on his hook. The fish must have been too lazy on that warm sunny day to come near the pier. "We shan't have much fish for supper tonight," Mr. Oldcastle muttered to himself, and feeling a little sleepy, he shut his eyes. It must have been hours later that he woke up with a start. He thought he'd heard Horace barking, so he looked round towards Gumdrop, but the tide had come in, and Gumdrop wasn't there. Mr. Oldcastle turned and looked out to sea, and there was Gumdrop out at sea and floating away. The fisherman and the others on the pier looked really worried. What's more, Horace was standing on the top of the hood, still barking furiously. "Stop that car!" yelled Mr. Oldcastle, but there was no one around at sea to give any help to either Gumdrop or the dog. At once Mr. Oldcastle tore off his jersey and shoes, shut his eyes, and jumped into the water. To see Gumdrop and Horace floating on the waves was too much. He must rescue them himself. The people on the pier had called the lifeboat, and very soon it was heading straight for Mr. Oldcastle. "Not me," he spluttered. "Please go and save that dog over there." But the lifeboat man threw him a lifebelt just the same, and he was pulled aboard the lifeboat, still spluttering. Then the lifeboat quickly turned round, and they threw a rope to rescue Gumdrop. Horace looked frightened, standing there on the hood, but jumped straight into Mr. Oldcastle's arms when he heard his name being called. They were all safe, thanks to the lifeboat men. The lifeboat started to tow Gumdrop safely back to the beach. Mr. Oldcastle and Horace were soaking wet, but no damage had been done. The people on the beach cheered when the lifeboat landed them all at the shore. "Hooray! Hooray!" Mr. Oldcastle thanked all the lifeboat men for rescuing them. They were drying out quickly in the warm sunshine, and Mr. Oldcastle managed to dry Gumdrop's engine too. All was well again. Horace wagged his tail at the thought of being on dry land, but neither Horace nor Mr. Oldcastle seemed to have realized that there would be no fish for supper. Mr. Oldcastle decided to check the back of the car to see if any damage had been caused. It was then that he saw the fishing net that he'd tied on the back of Gumdrop. He burst out laughing, for in the net were two big, shiny silver fish. "Good old Gumdrop," he said. "You went fishing, and we shall have fish for supper after all."